Hello, I'm WBZ TV meteorologist Barry Burbank. I have your forecast for today and for the next several days. A lot of weather going on here, not only this weekend, but the next few weeks, it looks like, with a very active weather pattern. Right now it's 30 degrees as of this recording time this morning, but it's much colder as you head up to northern New England, especially over the northern mountains. And look what it is this morning, as of 8 o'clock in the morning, across parts of northern New England. 8 to 9 o'clock, we got temperatures 30 to 40 degrees below zero. That is insane cold. Don't see that very often up there, getting very much closer to us. So that cold air is going to be watched very closely, because I tell you what, let's go and look at Alaska, because it has warmed up across western Canada, where they had 20 to 40 degrees below zero last week. It's warmed up, and typically as it warms up in Alaska and western Canada, the cold air shifts over to the east, and much of the eastern part of the United States can get its coldest blasts under those conditions. But today, not bad, as it goes up to around 31 in Boston, 20s to lower 30s elsewhere, maybe some mid-30s on Cape Cod. And that mild air coming up with the storm is going to send it up to 60 in Nashville, but on the backside of the storm, it's going to pull some of that cold air down into Minneapolis, where it's only 10. How would you like to be in Orlando today? Around 80 degrees. Well, that frigid air is not far away. Some of that frigid air will be feeding into the storm as moist tropical air comes up from the south, sets off some severe weather in the Gulf Coast states today. That's all going to head east. So this is the position of the storm as it moves northeastward and gives us snow developing here this evening. And then it's going to get heavier, mainly near and after midnight. At the same time, there's going to be this warm air coming up. So it's all about the timing of the changing of the thermal profile of the atmosphere. How the temperatures are going to change at various levels determines the type of precipitation we will get. And certainly it's going to be all over the place, and plenty of cold air is going to really rush in behind this to make Monday a really severely cold day here, but not as cold as up in Canada. So the National Weather Service has a storm warning up, winter storm warning, for late today and tonight into tomorrow in this pink shaded area, mainly south of Boston in this purplish sort of region. It's just a plain winter weather advisory. It is certainly going to be slippery going for a while tonight, but it's not going to be as messy, terrible as it will be in the storm warning area. So for the headlines, snow commences really this evening. Now, before that happens, there could be some scattered snow showers on the south coast, south shore. Ocean effect snow showers, really not related to the impending storm whatsoever. Late tonight, that snow becomes heavy at times, then transitions to sleet and freezing rain, and then even to rain in parts of the area. So as far as impacts go from this storm, yes, high impact for accumulating snow, high impact due to sleet and ice, less of an impact, but still some impact from damaging winds. But the damaging winds may be confined to smaller areas along the coast and down toward the Cape. And with that wind and the high tides, looks like there could be some coastal flooding. We're in the astronomical high tide part of the month, so it could be some minor to pockets of moderate coastal flooding. As we'll watch from scattered snow showers coming in from the ocean, mainly on the south shore and the Cape later this morning or this afternoon. As the clouds thicken up elsewhere, the main snow really doesn't get underway until about 8 to 10 this evening, spreads across the region, and certainly by midnight, it's going to be a solid shield of snow, and a pretty good thumping of snow at that, before we transition over to the sleet and freezing rain. Now watch tomorrow morning at 7:30. It's going to be above freezing in Boston, 37, 40 southeastern Massachusetts, all plain rain down here. But sleet and freezing rain as you get into central Mass, where it's in the 20s, only in the teens and far northern New England. There'll be an expansive area of sleet and freezing rain closer to the southern portions of this boundary, sleet back in here. So that's ice pellets which bounce off everything and don't cling to objects like trees and cars. But the areas that get that narrow band of freezing rain, it's going to be tough. And then areas which get rain, and it's going to be heavy rain, there's going to be puddling and lots of water in roadways here. And then that's all going to freeze as the temperatures take a dive and they crash later tomorrow afternoon. So the Boston area south and southeast, you're not in for a good time tomorrow afternoon. That's flash freeze. And then we'll get some snow showers for Sunday night and then into Monday. So Boston has not had its first inch of snow yet. We all know that. And the latest for that to happen was in the year of 2007 on Valentine's Day. But we're going to get the first inch tonight for sure, and then some by a few inches. This is what I expect here. The greatest amounts in northern New England, 8 inches around, I would say, around the New Hampshire border, ranging up to about 4 inches near or just south of Boston, ranging down to about 2 inches closer to the Cape Cod Canal, and then to an inch or less on the outer part of the Cape and the islands as we go through that transition of heavy snow to ice, and then we get this highest risk of freezing rain in this zone right in here, and that may cause ice accretion, which would add weight to some tree limbs and branches and possibly be contributing to some scattered power outages in those zones there. So the highest risk of those outages would be mainly near and just south of the Mass Pike for tomorrow. And the winds will be gustiest near the coast. Not all that much wind inland, although it will be windy at times. The strongest winds, of course, will be near the coastline, and that will augment the tides, and therefore coastal flood warning is up here on the north and south shores with a coastal flood advisory on the New England south coast. That may be changed by the National Weather Service. Look what happens. We have a wind shift, and wind chill temperatures later tomorrow night will be falling through the single numbers, then going below zero. So by Monday morning, we'll have wind chills of 15 to 20 degrees below zero at least. Quite an up and down roller coaster ride in the weather, because after we have that cold snap, it's going to get milder again Wednesday and Thursday. But be careful, because it looks like we are vulnerable to more Arctic blasts and stormy weather over the next few weeks as this weather pattern remains locked in place. And that's your forecast for now.